Welcome to the Kate Thurman Show, Season 2. And we're kicking this off with Harold Phifer. And y'all know, we have fun on this show. This show, we talk about real life, real stories, and we like to have fun here. Harold, thank you for being a part of the show with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Thurman. I'm glad to be here. Like you just mentioned, I'm Harold Phifer, author of the book "My Bully, My Aunt, and Her Final Gift." It's a book about a guy, or a story about a guy, which is me. My aunt passes, and she was one of those that raised a lot of sin. In the church, outside the church, she did a lot to. She was an okay aunt when my brother wasn't around, but I could never outshine him. She tried to make sure of that. So because I was always growing and blossoming, she always, tried to put extra pressure to suppress me. So, I didn't like it. So fast forward after she passed, I get to kind of hit back, but in the same time, kind of spoiler alert, I kind of pick her back up, but I hit back and tell about all the things, how she, like I said, kind of held me subordinate and kind of fight around her, to get to where I am.
Mhm. Okay, so she was the inspiration for the book.
Yes. She came about in the first book. The first book I did was Surviving Chaos, How I Found
Mm,
Peace at the Beach Bar. And
mm,
people asked me a lot about the character, and it was I Katie and I Kathy. And they like, was she like that? Because one of the stories I mentioned in that book, I'd always, been respectful,
mm-hmm,
never talked back or never, roll my eyes, never talked under my breath, kept eye contact, whether she's admonishing me. I was never disrespectful.
mm-hmm.
So there was a scene in the book, Surviving Chaos, where I ended up beating up my older brother. Mind you, I was about 18. But mind you, up until 18, he would beat me up all the time. And I go, running, hey, he beat me up, look what he did, how kids are, right?
Yeah.
And she'd, put a bandage on me or whatever and send me back home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first time I get the better, and then like I said, didn't beat him, I got the better of him though. So he
Okay.
runs and tells Aunt Kathy. And she comes see me, like a day later. And I'm about 18. And like I said, I'd never been disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
So she give me the riot act, this better not happen, blah, blah. Then she shows me what she was working with, which was a 38 special.
Okay. Okay.
And and it broke me. It broke me. I mean, a lot had happened before then, but that broke me because I had never been disrespectful. Never, you know, never was that kid that, he needed to be corrected. I was never that dude.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I get the better of her golden child, she shows up with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
So people start asking me about her, was she like that, blah, blah, blah. And it finally dawned to me, she needs a book. So
Okay.
so my bully, my aunt, and her final gift is that book, because I'm sitting there like, that may have been the worst, but I got a bunch more. And I'll deliver it in this book.
Oh my gosh. So 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 the one time that you got, like you said, the best of them,
Right.
you got to see the best of another side, or
Right.
or for
With the
lack of
worst of
better
that
word.
wood. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my. Well, for me, and excuse my voice, um, I'm just getting over um allergies, and I have asthma, all of that good stuff. But the Holy Spirit carrying me through. So, can you talk about the 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 final gift? You mentioned it in the book, like
Mhm.
that final gift you just talked about. You talked about she came and she showed you what she was working with. How did you
Right.
feel in that moment?
Oh, I was broken. I had severed ties somewhat because being close to my brother, and I hate to say this, but it was one of those colorism. He was
Oh,
young, energetic, very, very handsome.
mhm.
And so, she wanted always him around and she didn't want me around. So after about 12, I kind of got like, hey, I'm getting too many beatings here,
Okay.
for being near him. Like I started to see the similar, the correlation, stick around
Mm,
Jerry, you get your butt beat, let him and Aunt Kathy go off, your life is okay.
okay.
So I finally hit me at about 12. So
Yeah, I understand.
go ahead, I'm with you.
No,
So
no, I'm
so yeah,
listening to you, so I
so,
understand.
so by the time she pulled the gun, it was like that was kind of like wow, of all things I didn't expect that. And yeah, it kind of broke me, farther than I was with her.
Mm.
But
So,
but all through the years,
mhm,
she made sure she severed that relationship with Jeremy. Jerry 3 years older. And as a kid, you got a big brother. You want to be close to him. You walk behind him. You want to do what he does. I mean, we took baths together for all of that kind of craziness. Went to church together. Played wrestle, all that. So you trying to always be close to your bigger brother, and she didn't
yeah.
like that. And she didn't like that. So like that, after I kind of realized, and I was the only one getting whippings. Also, he never got spanked or whipped, and I did. So
Oh,
after you catch on, you're like, yeah, I need to kind of distance myself from this dude.
mhm. I was like that.
So
Always the one getting in trouble. You're like, now wait a minute, this not adding up.
right, right. In one of the story in the book, it's
Mhm,
my first day of school,
mhm,
and we're in her Crown Victoria. She just had to take us to school. I wanted to walk, because Jerry had all his friends, and I wanted to walk and everybody see the new kid too. But she
mhm.
just gotta take Jerry, right? So we're waiting for her to take us to school, and we had this song Jerry and I created called the car song. So we in this, the actual version, there's a lot of cussing in it, but the one I wrote, there's no cussing.
Okay.
So we're in the car just clowning, and she comes out and drags me out and beats me good before, take me to school.
Mhm.
And so it was stuff like that that happened a lot. So, my first day of school, I'm walking around with a sore butt and everybody else, all happy, they're new, I'm new, but I'm all swollen, dry tears and all that. So I learned like, might want to distance myself because Jerry was doing worse than I was in a car. He gets nothing. So
Mhm.
it's like, you learn. So
Right.
and, and I tell the stories, they're funny now, but they
Mhm.
weren't funny then.
Right. And
So
when you're going through it, it's not as funny as it
right,
is when you're older and it's like, oh wow, I went through that. But now you can laugh about it. I
right,
understand that. Yeah.
right,
You've experienced so much turbulence from your childhood to surviving a suicide bombing.
right.
Can you talk
Yeah,
about
yeah. I came to Iraq, not Iraq, Afghanistan, and
that? Okay.
they tell you, all fairness, they prepare you, what's possible, how to stay safe, blah, blah, what to expect. Well, they pay a lot of money. So you're like, you know what? Sign me up. So so I'm over in Afghanistan
Thank you for
and
this.
I walk into the cafeteria and it's probably within a second or two the place just goes black and boom. I mean it felt like the building left the floor. Okay. And threw me about 6 feet behind the counter. And so the Taliban had an MO where mode of they'll blow a place up and whatever they didn't kill or thought was dead, they'll come and try to shoot everybody else that's left
Mhm.
until somebody killed them. So I'm in there and I'm like, okay, I got two eyes, I can feel my nose, mouth intact, 4, 5, 6, 10 fingers. I'm intact, but
Mhm.
Now probably phase two fixing to start. They come and start shooting. So I'm hiding and trying to eventually get back to the safe area, which had these solid steel rooms.
Mhm.
And so in the process, I'm praying, Lord, Lord, help me, Lord, Lord. So they say before death, your life flashes before your eyes. And true. I start to relive my childhood, all the years, all the stuff I went through, all the funny, the bad. My mom was schizophrenic, all that. I could see that. And also, I had always said I was going to write a book about my life. Never done it. Even as young as 14, like, man, this some crazy stuff. I'm gonna write a book about this one day, and never done it. So while I'm praying, I'm like, God, if you let me make it out, I'm gonna write that book. So I made it out. Obviously, I'm here to tell a story, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
surviving chaos, how I found peace at the beach bar. It's that book.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so that what got me going, and that what branched also into my bully, my aunt, and her final gift.
Okay. Wow, you are such an inspiration. Cause I would be sitting here, probably sitting there like, oh wow, I done went through all this. So you're brave. Thank you for your service again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Whoa. How did growing up in the 60s in Mississippi influence your view of family?
Oh man. Like I said, mine was just dysfunctional. So that's as bad as this may sound, it's kind of
Mhm.
like that doesn't count. I said, I'm
Oh,
sorry, Kate, but it was that bad. Like you don't
yeah.
even count that, right? That was just
Mm,
survival. That was just survival, right?
mm,
Um, but I got a weird story. I can tell you about our school integrated. I'm not gonna say where, but when our school integrated, they brought all the white kids to our school, and so I was there was this kid, and I was about 10, and white kid. His mom would bring him to school, and he would kiss her every day before she left. And I was so blown away. I had never experienced it, never even thought of it, never seen it. But he would
mm.
kiss his mom, and I'm sitting there like, is that kind of immature? Is it kind of, is that appropriate? Is that it was it was so weird because no one nurtured in me.
Right,
So
right.
it was just bizarre to me. And weird thing, he and I became best of buds,
Okay.
and yeah, we became best of buds. And my mom ruined that relationship. Like my mom was schizophrenic and probably racist. Anyway, they came to my house, and I would go to their house all the time. We'd study and all that with the kid. He didn't live that far from me, and so they finally came to my house impromptu, right? And my mom cussed him out and ran him off.
Mm-hmm.
I was embarrassed, hurt, and all that. But that was my mom. She was always doing weird stuff, you know.
That's what
Yeah,
our parents do. They embarrass us a lot. I've had
yeah,
my share of embarrassment a lot. You know, you
yeah.
can't. I couldn't even stay outside past 5 o'clock. The street lights come on. You better come on in the house. What you doing
Mhm.
out there? You don't need to be out there that time of day after five
Right,
o'clock. So
right.
I understand. So I want to know, as far as the readers, what responses have you gotten from your readers with the book?
Ooh, well, it's different dynamics in the book that people can relate to. Maybe
Okay.
I got a crazy aunt or a crazy uncle, or
Yeah.
like you said, or maybe my mom or my dad was overbearing. So I get comments and even in the reviews of
Mm-hmm.
those kind of sentiments. So people can't relate to all of it, and I hope to God they can. you know, but but some of it they do.
Okay. Oh wow. So are you having any other books that you're going to write? You have any other projects in mind you're thinking about writing?
Well, yes. Once I wrote Surviving Chaos, which was how I found peace at the beach bar. It's more, It's nonfiction and a memoir. So I kind of like, "Oh, I got some juice. I've been waiting to do this." So the first one I wrote was "Fool Me Thrice." Um,
Yeah.
Money Everything, right? And it's a fiction, first fiction I wrote, and it's under the pen name Dean Coney. And I wanted I picked Dean because I wanted to be different from Harold Phifer. Okay, but then I wanted to have a chance to have some fun, and I felt I can write like a romance book, and it
Okay.
is it's salacious. It's a lot of pain, deceit, betrayal, um, infidelity, but then there's loyalty and there's love. Okay, I mean, what's a romance book without loyalty and love?
Right.
So, right. So I wrote that one, and I tell people it's kind of like a man's man uh, warp idea of romance. I said it because a lot of things I talked about in the Fool Me Thrice, and and it's part of a trilogy. This been the first book. A lot of things I talk about is locker room stuff that men talk or say, and that's what I mean by a warp idea. How men gawk, how men say, that body was tight or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It,
I
but
got you.
it's in salacious terms. It's out there,
Okay.
and it's wild. I mean, it's not the book you want to leave lying around. It's not it's not over the top, but over the top. It's not,
Okay. So
yeah,
not quite over the top, but it's over the top. I got
yeah.
you.
It's
I'm
like I tell people, yeah, like I tell people, I say it's not quite porn, but it'll get you there.
okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me like I'm two. Okay.
so so after I wrote the Fool Me Thrice under Dean Coney, I did the sequel, which is like I said once again part of the second book in the Fool's Gold Chronicle. And so this one takes you back, picks up from where the first one left off. The first one, I'll spoil a little bit. The main character is Charlie Moe,
Mm-hmm.
and he was he loved women, gold diggers, you name it, okay? And they
Mm-hmm.
all were just bleeding him dry. So once he lost all his money, he had to get a normal job. He got a
Mm-hmm.
job at the sanitation department. And his
Mm-hmm.
boss got close to him, and the boss um, kind of put in a scheme to get the rest of his money, okay?
Mm.
And even used his daughter to do it, to
Okay.
help him. Okay. So once um, he lost um, quite a bit, he didn't lose everything, but he lost quite a bit. He wanted to go back and try to recapture what he lost. And
Mhm.
so that's what's going on in A Fool Indeed by Dean Coney. He's trying to go back and recapture what he lost. Well,
Okay.
if you go looking for trouble, it'll
You gonna
find you.
find.
He found
Uh-huh.
that and it wouldn't let him go. So so this one, like I said, A Fool Indeed has murder, um, betrayal, um, suspense, love, and loyalty. But it's quite different. And it'll take you there. It'll keep you going.
Oh, well, no. We need some films with these books, Harold. I'm just saying.
Been thinking about that. Been thinking about that. That's possibly in the works.
Yes, amen. We gonna go on claim it. Cause
Well, I
I need
appreciate
some films with these books.
it. I appreciate it. Yes.
Yeah. I would sit there with my popcorn all day. Okay, what's the next one coming on? I have a whole binge day where I'm sitting there watching all your movies. I done read all your books, so I gotta watch all your movies. Y'all gotta come on. We room for Harold to come on. We can get these shows, these movies. Cause I'm a good ooh wait.
I think people love it. I really do. Because, like I said, I built that character Charlie Moe. I built him. I didn't want him to be too suave or too rich. I
Uh-huh.
want some work to be there. and you kind of got to work at getting to know the women or having a normal life. You kind of got to work at uh, getting money. So I wanted some work to be there, and he come from he come from a good family, but and they were well off, but not what do you call it, stinking rich. Went stinking rich, you know.
Uh-huh.
But then he blew it off. But then he has a few wits on or a few attributes of how to get it back.
Okay.
So, with that, as he trying to change, change his stripes,
Mm-hmm.
his old life keep coming back to get him. All the gold diggers keep popping back up. All the
Mm.
all them thoughts that you used to know keep popping back up.
Uh-huh. They won't leave them alone. They still
Won't,
there.
won't they still there? And
Uh-huh.
even the ghost of one of them are chasing him in the in a fool indeed. So it
Yeah.
keeps you going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We y'all gotta go and get all of them. Can you tell everybody where to get all your books? All your books. They need to know, Harold.
They need to know. You're right. I appreciate Miss Kate. But
You
yeah, it, you could see them. They're all on Amazon, Amazon.com.
Mhm.
You can go to my website, riseandread.com.
Okay.
Um, I hope anybody see my content on social media, please like and share. Um, I like to expose
Mhm.
to many people, and I know they're gonna love them once they pick it up. And I'm at Facebook and Instagram on Harold Phifer 2024 on Twitter or X. I'm He Phifer. That's Hotel Echo Papa Hotel India Foxtrot Echo Romeo Phifer Phifer on Twitter and X. Um, Same thing on TikTok at He Phifer 6, the number 6, He Phifer 6.
Mhm.
But anyway, um, jump on it. You're gonna love it. Like I said, no, it, not brag, but everybody who read my books have enjoyed it. you
Yeah, your
know,
books are awesome. They're awesome. You guys go pick up Harold book. Follow him on his social media, and I'm gonna stand in the gap. I'm gonna be praying for these movies because I'm ready to see the movies too. So we all gonna stand in agreement, we're gonna touch and agree that these movies are gonna come. They're gonna be awesome movies. I'm gonna be number one fan. Now I'm gonna send you a message tonight. You know I got my popcorn.
okay, I like it. I like it, Miss Kate.
Oh, I'm excited for you. I'm so thankful that you came and you stopped by the show with us. And Harold, anytime you write another book, you think about
Okay,
Kate. Let me get it and read it so you can come back on the show and we can talk about it and get another movie.
sounds good. Sounds
All right.
good.
All right. Well,
Okay,
thank you for stopping by. This has been an episode of the Kate Thurman Show with Harold Phifer.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.
Okay.